Hello, everyone, and welcome to Alumni Talks. Our webinar today will be devoted to EMLYON Business School and its international MBA program. My name is Zornitsa, and I'll be the moderator today on behalf of Unimi. I would like to thank you all for joining us and to welcome our panelists. Lisa Omer Ruder, Recruitment Manager for the International MBA at EMLYON, and Kartik Acharya, MBA alumnus and Senior Manager at GEP Worldwide. The online session will start with a brief presentation of the program, followed by a panel discussion in which Kartik will share with us more about his MBA experience and how it contributed to his professional development. At the end of the webinar, there will be a Q&A session in which our panelists will be answering your questions. So if you have any questions, please write them down in the chat box anytime and we'll take care of the time to address them accordingly. I'll give the word now to Lisa to present herself and the International MBA at EMLYON.
Thank you very much, Sonita. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. So I'm Lisa. I'm the recruitment manager for the full-time MBA from EMLYON Business School. So I used to work for the executive MBA, and now I'm recruiting since a year and a half for the full-time MBA. So I will be presenting the program here with Kartik, a great alumnus from the full-time MBA. Hi, Kartik.
Hi, Lisa. Welcome, everyone. Thank you. My name is Kartik, and I'm very happy to be here along with Lisa presenting the program for you. And we are here to answer any questions that you have. We are very excited to talk to you today, and we hope to see you at EMLYON in the future. Thank you. Over to you, Lisa.
Exactly. Thank you, Kartik. Just a quick reminder for those who's just joined. Zonita was saying that if you have any question, do not hesitate to ask your question in the Q&A session, and we'll be responding to your question at the end of the presentation. Let's start with the presentation, if you agree. Okay. Sorry for that. So we will be presenting EMLYON Business School, the city of Lyon. We will also be presenting what is an MBA, why doing an MBA, our objective when you're doing an MBA, the cohort profile, of course, which type of profile do we have in her cohort, the program contents, the admission process, and then you will have time, as I said, where you can ask all of your questions about the program. Okay. So first of all, I would like to present you the city of Lyon. So Lyon is in France, of course. It's the second or third city of France, depending on which criteria. So it's a big city. It's well situated because it's 2 hours from Paris, 2 hours from the Alps, 2 hours from the Côte d'Azur. So it's very well located. It's a big student city, a lot of university here, a lot of students. Very attractive city in terms of industries. We have the pharmaceutical industry, which is very strong. The quality of life is also great because we have the mountains that are very close, and the life is way cheaper than Paris, for example. If you want to rent an apartment in Lyon, is way cheaper than Paris. And there is a lot of things to do in Lyon. I don't know how you lived your experience in Lyon, Kartik, and what did you think about the city?
Well, yeah, I mean, I lived there for almost 3 years, and I miss it. I just left Lyon like a few months back. I'm already missing the city. The great thing about Lyon is that it is like a mini Paris, but it is way better than Paris and a lot of European cities. In my life, I have been to a lot of European cities. Having 2 rivers and 2 riverside is great. And the food was one of the main reasons I love Lyon. It is the gastronomical capital of the world. So food is excellent. People are very friendly. A lot of people speak to you in English, but it would be nice if you can start speaking to them in French, because that's how you learn French. But overall, very friendly people, great atmosphere, great nightlife as well, and good connection in terms of transport and everything else. So I love the city. I miss the city. I hope that I can go back sometime this year when some of the restrictions are lifted. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Kartik. It's good to mention that everything isn't in Paris. Actually, Lyon is also a very dynamic city with a lot of things to do, and people are have been very friendly here. So in Lyon, we do have a great business school, which is called EMLYON Business School. So some few facts about the school. So actually this slide is wrong because we don't have now 5 campuses, but we do have 6 campuses. So one in Lyon, one in Saint-Étienne, close to Lyon, one in Paris, one in Casablanca, Morocco, one in Shanghai, China, and one in Bhubaneswar, India. So we do have a huge alumni network. You can access to that alumni. If you are graduated from EMLYON Business School, you can have access to that network all your life, which is also very practical. If you need any information, if you need to find a job, if you need to create a business, the MBA club and the alumni network is very powerful. So it's a very international school. As you can see here, we have 40% of our professors who are coming from abroad. We do have the executive education, which is also very strong, with a lot of programs that we are proposing to professionals and a lot of partners. If you're looking for an MBA, a very personal advice is to check on, well, of course, the ranking, but also the accreditation. As you can see here, EMLYON Business School has the triple accreditation. We call it the triple crown. So we have AACSB, which is American, EQUIS, which is European, and AMBA, AMBA, which is the most interesting one here because it's about the quality of the MBA. So if you are looking for a business school, this is very important, and we do have this accreditation that guarantee that this is a good MBA and that the MBA will be recognized worldwide. As I say, it's also important to see at the ranking, even if, well, ranking isn't everything because it's changing every year. My also personal advice is not to get too obsessed about ranking. Just check on a lot of schools. It's important to to do a big benchmark to see which school will be fitting with your DNA, fitting with your personality, fitting with your career goal. It's the most important aspect. And then, well, check on the accreditation and the ranking, of course, to see if it's a good school. So you can see here that in the economists, we are 22nd worldwide, which is great. We are in the top 3 in France from the Financial Times, which is the most serious one. And for the time higher education, which is a ranking from a company who graded MBA alumnus. We are 24 worldwide for employability. You can see, and you will see during the presentation, that employability is a very important aspect of the MBA. Doing an MBA at EMLYON Business School, it's all about getting a job. It's all about being more attractive in the job market. It's all about boosting your employability. It's all about finding the best job for you. So you will have, and Kartik will present it, a very strong career track. Yeah, it's all about finding a better job, actually. So, and you can see that we can see that that aspect in that ranking. Okay. Okay. Why doing an MBA? when is the best time to do an MBA? Well, the best time to do an MBA, well, we are asking for an MBA participant to be at least 3 years of work experience. So you need to have at least 3 years of work experience, excluding internship, to join the MBA. You feel that you are quite an expert in what you're doing, and you want to get a higher position in the company, you want to have a more global vision of business, you want to gain some managerial skills, then the MBA is the right program for you. So it's not a master degree in, typical or specific subject. It's a general program where you will be seeing a lot of vision of business, and then you can specialize during the elective. But the thing is that it will change your vision of business. It will give you more strategical posture, a more strategical point of view, so that you can get a better position within the company. Now you can do an MBA if you want to change your job, if you want to change your sector, if you want to change your country, if you want to make a new step actually in your career. So now maybe the best time for me is to ask Kartik, why did you decide to do an MBA? Can you explain your background and in which time of your career you decided to join EMLYON Business School?
Sure, Lisa. So over the number of years, I've come across a lot of MBA candidates, and even when I was doing my research to to find the right schools, what I was really looking at is what will the program do for me when I finish the MBA? What will be the benefit that I will get from it? So my reason to do an MBA was because I already have a master's degree before EMLYON, and I was working for almost 10, 11 years. And I had reached a stage where I felt like I needed to plan for my next 10 years of my career, or even next 15 years of my career. And I felt like my knowledge had to be updated, my exposure had to be enhanced, because I had worked with European and American and Asian clients all my life, but I had rarely done any physical travel. I had spent most of my time in India. So I wanted that international experience. I wanted to go out to Europe per se, and France was obviously very welcoming to international students. It has a great educational environment as well as great lifestyle. So I was obviously attracted to it. So for me, it was all about, I wanted to rediscover myself after working for nonstop for 10, 11 years. And I wanted to go into a stage where I can define for myself what I need to do or which direction I need to take in the next 10 years. So it is okay if you don't have a clear-cut idea, because a lot of people that I have met in my cohort and outside, they don't know exactly what they want to do. They just want to come and discover, and sometimes it's good. Some people have a very clear focus of why they do want to do an MBA. Well, good for them, but they will also come across some instances where they'll have to change things, because the MBA is all about keeping your mind open and be ready for change. I think that is the most important thing. So yeah, that is the crux of my experience, Lisa.
Thank you, Kartik. I think that is exactly that. The MBA is also the opportunity to help you to learn and to be ready to change. As Kartik said, you don't need to have a very precise project before doing an MBA. It's good to have one, but the MBA is also here to help you to find your project and to give you all the tools to succeed in your project. And it's good to be flexible, to be ready to change, to sometimes adapt your plan to the job market. And the MBA is also here to help you to be in that state of mind. More general focus on the program. So a full-time MBA, which is also called the International MBA, it's a 12-month program. We've got one intake per year, which is in September. So this year it will be by the end of September, by September 27. And if you are joining us for the French bootcamp, you will be joining in September 13. It's 100% in English. So don't worry, you don't have to speak French to join the MBA. However, of course, it's very important for you to learn a bit of French. If you want to stay in France and if you want to find a job in France, it's always better to speak a bit of French because it's better for your employability. The MBA, it's a general program where you will be specializing by the second part of the program. You will have a dedicated career track, some learning trip and exchange program. And we will have also what we call an in-company project, an ELP project, but we will tell you more about this later on. So about the background of our participants, so it's this year cohort, you can see that we have participants coming from everywhere. Every background is represented here. We have a lot of engineers, a lot of them coming from business school, but not only. A lot of sector are also representing here. So yeah, we do have some original profile, and which is great because the MBA is also the opportunity to meet some people from very different background, very different culture. And in this year cohort, for example, we have 59 participants coming from 22 different nationalities, 22 different backgrounds. So it's also the opportunity to meet people that you don't have the opportunity to meet when you're in your everyday life at work. So it's also a full experience where you will be meeting some people from a lot of different backgrounds. A good thing about this year also is that even with the quarantine, we succeed in maintaining the classes in face-to-face. It was very important for us. So face-to-face classes are always the first option for us. About the structure of the program, so you will have the first part of the program from September till beginning of February, which will be dedicated to core courses. And then the second time of the program, which will be for specialization, what we call the elective. And if you choose to go abroad, it will be an international exchange for you. So for the core courses, well, actually, you will be studying all the bases of the MBA. So finance, marketing, supply chain, HR, new venture. Very important thing that you have to know about EMLYON Business School. We have this entrepreneurial DNA, which is very strong. It's a school made by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. So it's very important for us to help you to build this entrepreneurial DNA and state of mind. You can be an entrepreneur by creating your own company, but you can also be an entrepreneur by bringing new things, new process, new projects within an existing company. So you can feel it in every program from EMLYON Business School, but also in this program and in the core courses through the new venture topics. Then in the second part of the program, you will have what we call the elective. So you can pick, sign up for maximum 14 elective. If you are choosing more, well, I think it won't be possible for you because you will have a lot of homework, but it's, as we say in France, à la carte. You are picking your own elective depending on your project, depending on your career goal. Of course, the professor will help you to choose the elective. You won't be alone. You will have the time to decide. If you want to be helped by the career department to find which will be the best elective, depending on your career project, you will be helped. So you won't be alone choosing your elective. Quick question for Kartik. What do you remember? What was your best elective during that time of the program?
Sure. So my selection in functional area was strategy, international strategy, and the contextual area of specialization for me was M&E management or multinational enterprise management. I think most of the cohort members usually go for this combination, that is strategy and M&E management, because this kind of gives you an international context. Multinational enterprises are usually companies that have a headquarter in one company, but they have clients and offices and employees in several other countries. So, and strategy, of course, could relate to any functional area, be it in marketing, finance, human resource, or operations. So it's a great subject to learn and to great subject to specialize in. But there, having said that, there are many people who specialize mainly in either marketing or finance or lifestyle or life sciences. There were quite a few people. There were also a few entrepreneurs from my cohort who went into new venture management. So that you will have plenty of options. So that's why when Lisa showed you in the previous slides that the first block is when you will study about all the core courses. That will give you a fair idea about what you need to specialize in. And also you will have the chance to choose and select from these set of subjects. So don't get overwhelmed by the number of subjects here. You will have clarity about each and every subject, and you will be given time to choose it, and you will actually be choosing more subjects than required, so that you can change your mind if you can't do it. You can skip it. So it's like 10 subjects, and then out of which you can, like 14 that you will choose, and you have to clear like 10 subjects. So and the professors and students will also help you in choosing those subjects. So you will get time to go through the subject. So don't get overwhelmed by the number of subjects here.
Yeah, thank you, Kartik, for sharing. So another very important moment of the program is the Entrepreneurial Leadership Project. So actually it's called Entrepreneurial, but it's definitely a consulting project. What happened is that in mid-November, we do have 20 companies that are coming on campus. So they can be big group, big companies, international company, as they can be smaller companies, startup, and they all will be presenting their activity and the problematic that they are facing. For example, here are some examples of companies that have been coming the last 3 years. So if you can see here, for example, with General Electric is having a problem with, I don't know, recruitment, and you're interested in working in that sector, then you can apply for the company, apply for General Electric to work as an external consultant from February until the end of the program, meaning that you will be working in a group of 6 to 7 participants while you will be studying for your elective. So it's a great thing, well, because you can put it on your resume. First of all, it's a real experience, a real problematic and real companies, and in the best situation that we can imagine. And if it's going well, the company can hire you at the end of the project. It's also good for your network. If you want to work in that specific industry, you will get to know professionals from that industries. So yeah, it's a very complete experience. It's well appreciated from our participants. Many participants chose EMLYON Business School because of that, actually, because it's very concrete, very real. So once again, another question for Kartik, of course. Can you share a bit of your ELP experience?
Sure, Lisa. Actually, I'm one of those candidates who chose EMLYON based on this ELP program. And I know a lot of people whom I have met have also chosen EMLYON because of ELP. And for sure, it actually is probably the most critical aspect of the MBA, because as you can see, it's a 6-month team-based consulting project. And so you not only get very involved with your project and your teammates, but also with the companies that you work for. So in my case, me and my teammates, we work for a startup incubator in Paris called Progress Partners. And the most interesting thing was that none of us had anything to do with startups, or none of us were even interested in becoming entrepreneurs. So one was from one was an aeronautical engineer, one was an engineer in railways, one was another engineer from oil and gas industry. One was from one girl was from China who was into marketing, and me who was experienced in human resources, so and in the IT industry. So none of us had any idea. So it is a great learning experience, to be honest, because you go into a project and you're talking generally to senior people in the organization. You're talking to vice presidents. In our case, we were directly working with the CEO. And the interesting thing is that they don't give you a case study. They don't give you something that happened 10 years ago. They actually give you a real life problem that they are facing. So in our case, we had to make a vision and mission statement and set the whole company's direction for the next 10 years. And so it was a very interesting project. And also for somebody who did not know anything about entrepreneurship and startups, it was a great experience to discover, learn. And this ELP project will take up, I think, the most amount of your time and effort. But at the end, it will all be worth it because you will have real life work experience in Europe, or in some cases also with abroad clients and customers. And you will realize, you will actually experience how it is to work for a company as a consultant while studying, while managing your workload, as well as doing your work. So it is an excellent experience that I cannot explain in words. It has to be experienced.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Kartik, for sharing this great ELP experience. So yeah, it starts in November. You will have 2 days presentation. All the company are coming on campus. It's a nice moment to spend. And then you will have to decide by the beginning of January which company you want to apply. And you will make several choices. So yeah, great moment to spend also during the program. About career, as I said earlier, it's all about getting a job. A thing that you have to know when you are joining the MBA. So each Tuesday will be dedicated to your career. Each Tuesday you won't have any classes. You will be working in workshops with some coaches, with some professionals from different industries. You will be doing some networking events. The goal being working on your career. Now, and once again, maybe Kartik is the best person to tell us more about the career track, how it works. Can you explain a bit more, Kartik, about the career track?
Yeah, definitely. So like Lisa said, every Tuesday, it is career day. So you don't have classes. And I will just give you my experience. So imagine you could be, three kinds of, like one of the three kinds of students joining an MBA. One, the kind of students who know what exactly they want to do, right? So they know after the MBA, there could be either a job waiting for them, or they know exactly which industry, which sector, which job they want to go in. Second, they have a fair idea. They know what they want to do, so they're looking for more information. Third type of students are completely blank, right? So they don't know anything about what they're going to do after MBA. So for all these three kinds of people, the career track is designed such that the career track will help you in defining, first of all, which kind of candidate you are. And then they will be grouping of a number of students who are closely aligned. And this group is very small. It's usually like 6 or 7 people, and a mentor is assigned to each of these groups. And then again, mentors will present themselves, and then you can choose the mentor you want to work with. And that's very interesting because every mentor has a different kind of candidates they're used to working with. So you can also choose the mentors that you want to work with. And when you work in this group, every Tuesday, you are doing something or the other related to your career. So it could be the wake-up call, which is an assessment day where they give you a situation where you have to give an interview today. You have to write a test today, and it's like you're competing for a job like that particular day. And you will realize where you stand on that particular day. And after that, there are workshops and many group sessions, and there are many external people who come, and there are sessions on CVs, there are sessions on LinkedIn. They even teach you, like, what kind of picture you should have on your profile and stuff like that, what you should write on your CV, or what kind of language. And how to give an introduction, how to give interviews, how to negotiate your salary. So all kinds of these sessions are done over a period of year. So the good thing about career track is that, look, when you're doing MBA, it's a very stressful environment. You could be busy with work, you're doing ELP, you're doing subjects, you're studying, you're also trying to socialize. So it could be very stressful. So it can happen that you might forget why you came to do your MBA, or you might forget about your job. But career track does not let you forget that, because every Tuesday, no matter what is happening, you have to be present for the career day, and you have to be, take part in those activities that will help you. So without even knowing, by the time within like 6 months, you will have had a fair amount of idea of what you need to do to find the right job after your MBA. And many times, a lot of people find jobs before completion of MBA. So even for that, career track helps you. So it kind of covers everything, because it's a group of people. It's not just one or two persons. So, this is a very interesting career track designed by EMLYON, and it works. It definitely works.
Great, thank you, Kartik, for sharing that experience with the career track. Concerning, and I'm sorry, there is two R to career in this slide. As I said a bit earlier, it's doing an MBA is also full experience, full life experience. It's not just about going to school. It's a lot about going to school and doing your homework and doing a lot of work, but it's not only. So if you are joining EMLYON Business School, you will have the opportunity to do the French course bootcamp in the city of Lyon at the beginning of the program. We do have an integration day in the vineyards in Beaujolais, where you will be visiting some vineyard in a nice region in France, where you will be meeting all your classmates. You will also have the opportunity to do some cooking classes at Institut Paul Bocuse, who is one of the biggest chefs in all time in France. And the cooking class and the cooking school is just next to EMLYON Business School. You will have some company visits, some learning trips abroad. So if you're joining the program, we do have 2 learning trips that is with all the cohort. It's not an international exchange, it's a learning trip where you will be going to Geneva to visit all the, a lot of international organizations. It's a 1-day trip, a very nice moment to spend, very interesting, as you will be visiting big organizations such as the United Nations or the Red Cross. And then you will have a 1-week trip, which will probably be in Berlin, in Germany. The main topic of the trip will be design thinking. So you will be visiting some companies and meeting some professionals from that topic. So yeah, it's also a very nice moment to spend with some professors and with all the cohorts. And then you can have access, of course, to student association. You can go to skiing in the Alps. Hopefully, everything will be back to normal by next year, so you will have the opportunity to do all those type of activities. And we do have a gala, IMBA gala for the graduation day, once you will be graduated. Another very important thing that you will have to know is regarding the employment statistic. You can see here that Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes is the Lyon region. You can see that we have, 53% of our participants who find a job in our region. 53% of our 64% find a job in France. Sorry, it's incorrect. 64% of our participants find a job in France. And from those 64%, we have 53 who find a job in our region. So everything isn't in Paris. As I said, we do have a lot of great companies also and great opportunities in the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes session. If you do want to find a job in France, as I said, the best thing is to learn how to speak French, with the opportunity to do some French classes during the program, but also by building a strong network in France, and with the career department who will help you to build your network nationally in France. Employment statistic, so it's from 2020, so just before COVID. Of course, it has been changing a bit, and we are working on the new statistic. But we have 68% who find a job before being graduated, and 90% who find a job within 3 months after the graduation day. If you are joining EMLYON Business School, you will have access to many sources of job offer, such as our internal website, the alumni network, a recruitment agency, and of course, and as we said, we have the career department will help you, who will coach you to find a job and to help you to find a job in the least amount of time, because it's our goal to keep you out of the job market the least amount of time. So as I say, many things will help you to find the job, the coaching, the mentoring that Kartik mentions, the career workshop. We do have some networking events on campus. So when we have these networking events, we do have a lot of companies that are coming, and it's like a job fair. They are presenting their internship and their job offer. It's also a possibility that, and an option that you will have if you want to do an internship, you will have the possibility to do an internship if you think that it's more relevant for you and for your career project. And as I said, we have this alumni network which is used, and the number is increasing every year. So about admission. You still have the opportunity to apply if you want to join the program in September. It's still possible. So you need to have at least 3 years of work experience, excluding internship, at least a bachelor degree. We mean by bachelor, we mean 4-year bachelor. If you do not have a 4 years bachelor, please let us know, and we will see what we can do, and you might have to do an extra interview. So for GMAT, GRE, and for French, TAJMAJ, so you will ask you to take the GMAT. You will have the possibility of being exempted from GMAT if you have been studying engineering, finance, science, or economics. We ask the GMAT for participants to be able to follow the most technical subjects, such as macroeconomics, for example, and we don't want to put you in some complicated situation. So yeah, we ask for the GMAT for those type of participants. We'll ask you to take an English test. Same thing, of course, if you're an English speaker and if you have been working in an English-speaking country, or if you work in English every day, we won't ask you to take the English test, but for most of participants, you do have to take an English test, such as the TOEIC, the TOEFL, IELTS, or Cambridge. So the application process is quite simple. The first step is to schedule a call with me or with Kartik. We will share you our contacts by the end of the presentation. And of course, you will have access to that presentation at the end. And we'll show you all of the details and everything that we just said. Once you exchange with one of us, you can have access to the online platform where you will have several questions that you will have to answer, put some supporting documents such as your passport, your CV, university degree, your transcript, etc. And then we will ask you also 2 recommendation letters from your professional background, not academical background, but professional background. And you will have to do some digital exercises and video exercise where a question will be asked and you will be recorded, and you will have to answer the question in English. So don't stress about the application process. The first step, as I said, is to schedule a call with one of us, and we will explain you a bit deeper what is the process and help you with every question that you might have. So about tuition fees, the financing part is also very important. MBA is 38,500 euros. Depending on your profile and depending on your background, you can have access to scholarship. The maximum scholarship that you can get is 40%. It's rare, but it happens. Sometimes you can have access to that scholarship. We have some partnership with banks. If you want to take a loan with one French bank, you can have access also with Prodigy Finance. Prodigy Finance, if you don't know about Prodigy Finance, it's an association from Great Britain, from MBA alumni, who realized that if you want to take a loan in every country, it's complicated because you need to know the country and know someone who is living in the country. With Prodigy Finance, you just need an acceptance letter from the school, and they can help you to cover 80% of the tuition fees and help you with your living expense. So it can be very interesting. So if you want to do a simulation with Prodigy Finance of the amount that you can borrow for your MBA, do not hesitate to check on their website. They are super reactive. Also, you start to pay back the loan once you get a job, which is also very flexible and very practical to do your MBA with, without thinking about that. Here is some example of type of scholarship that you can get if you join EMLYON Business School. So we do have an excellent scholarship for participants who have a GMAT score up to 650. We have the first nationality scholarship. For example, if you are coming from Brazil and you're the first Brazilian to enroll in the course, you can have a 20% scholarship. Executive woman scholarship, it's for women with a managerial position, with an early bird, but unfortunately it's a bit late for early bird. And we had the alumni recommendation scholarship. So if you know someone who did EMLYON Business School, who is graduated from EMLYON Business School, you can have access to that scholarship. So don't ask Kartik, because it's not the opportunity to ask the Kartik. It won't work, unfortunately. But if you know someone in your work that can recommend you, do not hesitate to ask him. It can be the opportunity to have a 10% discount. So about accommodation, we have two residences on campus, the Drakkar and the Lyon, which is very close from the school. You have been living in one of them, right, Kartik?
Yes, I lived in Drakkar for 2.5 years, and it's a great place. It's very close to the campus, 5 minutes walk. It's outside the city, but there are direct buses. There are multiple buses to go from Drakkar to the city. It takes about 20-25 minutes to reach the city. And also, for people wondering if there are late night buses, yes, there are late night buses back to the campus. So not to worry at all. It is also a good option. Many people stay in Lyon. But when the MBA is at its peak, and even when ELP is happening, usually people like to spend most of the time at school, so it is very practical. A lot of people I know were living in Lyon and then they move to either Drakkar or Lyon. Lyon is, by the way, just 2 minutes walk, so it's closer than Drakkar. So it is your choice. Like if you want to stay in the city, enjoy the city life, or you want to focus on your studies and go to the city whenever you want. It depends on you, but I think both options are pretty good, and Drakkar is also very good.
Yeah, good that you mentioned that. One thing that you have to know about EMLYON Business School, it's not in Lyon, actually. It's 10 minutes from Lyon in a very small town called Écully. So it's very easy to access because, as Kartik said, we have the tube and we have several buses to go to campus. So if you want to live downtown in Lyon, it's possible, and then you can take a bus to go to Écully. and to go to EMLYON Business School, but it's also very practical to live next to the campus, because you will spend a lot of time in campus, definitely, if you will be joining EMLYON Business School. Here are some information about the living expenses. So as I said, Lyon is way cheaper than Paris. Well, of course, the living expenses depend on your lifestyle. But here is a quick idea of what could be the living expenses if you are living in Lyon. I see the time, maybe it's now the best time to answer your question. I see here that you have several questions to ask. If you can help me with that, Zornitsa, it could be
Sure,
great.
Lisa. Thank you very much for providing so much information. It was really helpful in creating a more realistic image of what it is to do an MBA at EMLYON. Let us see what are the questions from our attendees. Well, the first one is from attendee called Vanessa. She would like to be a luxury consultant in the future, and she asks, what subjects would you suggest? Which specializations? International strategy, entrepreneurship, or luxury brand manager?
Well,
the slide that we had, Lisa, maybe we can go back to that.
yeah.
Yeah, the luxury, as a luxury consultant in future, well, international strategy, entrepreneurship, or luxury brand management, this is again, all three are options for you. And you could be working in a big company like LVMH, or you could like start your own brand. And there is one person in the current cohort who is an entrepreneur, who was a luxury entrepreneur, and now she is working. She's studying, and then she has her own plans to be an entrepreneur again. Again, luxury brand manager is a job that is very common. So if you look at here, lifestyle, you have several subjects to choose from: branding, consumer behavior, integrative lifestyle, etc. So, once you come to the school, once you start interacting with more people, you will also get a fair idea of what other subjects you can study in terms of strategy or marketing, even finance for that example, for that matter, if you're interested in that. So, this slide, we will share this slide with you. So this slide will help you in choosing your subjects.
And as Kartik said, you don't have to choose now. If your project is to be a consultant in luxury, you can be in consultant in finance, luxury finance, in marketing. It depends on what is your project. And the best person to answer your question will be our professors and our career coaches that will help you to find what is the best topics and elective for you. It's not something that you will have to decide before you doing your MBA. You will be very helped for that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kartik and Lisa. Let's go to the next question. Would you please tell us more about the international exchange between campuses? Are students able to choose where to go? And are these exchanges still available?
Yeah, they are still available. So we have approximately 10 partners for MBAs, one in each continent. We have one in Argentina, one in Brazil, one in Canada, one in Switzerland, one in Shanghai, one in Vietnam, one in India. Well, several countries are available. And it will depend on your English test. It will depend also on your GMAT. Every school has their own criteria. And once again, at the middle of the first block, which is the core courses, by October, November, we have the international service from EMLYON Business School, who will be presenting all the partners and what you need to do if you want to go abroad. And then you will have the opportunity to do the international exchange during the second part of the program. So instead of the elective, you go abroad. We have not so many participants who decide to go abroad because they are also enjoying a lot living in Lyon. So it's not the majority who are going abroad, but it's also a possibility that you will have definitely.
Yeah. So just to add to that, just like Lisa said, like all major continents we have partners with, as well as you have short-term exchange programs and long-term ones. So short-term are the ones which could be in Italy or Spain, which you could go for like 2 days and like come back within like a couple of days, 3 days. Then there are long-term ones like which I did, which was in UK. So there is Lancaster University. So that was for 1 month. So that's also quite a lot of fun. If you're interested, you can go to Lancaster University's website and check out my interview with them as an exchange program student. It's on their Twitter page as well as on their website.
Every school wants to work with you, Kartik. You are a superstar. You can see Kartik everywhere.
Great. We have several questions regarding the admissions criteria. I'll try to sum them up. So we learned that there is a GMAT requirement, and there is a bachelor's degree requirement, and there is an English language requirement. So, but in what cases are people exempt from the English language test? Is there a requirement regarding the age? And in case of a low GPA, is it a problem or people can still apply?
So to answer, well, I'll try to summarize all the answer. So there isn't any age limits. The average age of our participant is 30 years old, but you can be younger, you can be older. The only thing that matters is that you have at least 3 years of work experience. The average work experience is actually 7 years. So it's a bit more than 3 years. So you can be English test exempted if you're an English speaker, a native English speaker, of course, if you live in an English-speaking country, and if you are working 100% in English. Also, if you have a degree in English, for example, if you master degree 100% in English, in some cases you can be English test exempted, but not every time because your master degree can be a bit old. You can be GMAT exempted if you have a degree in engineering, in finance, in science, or in economics. And I don't remember the last question that you asked. The last one was about
age.
No, in case a person has a lower test results, a lower GPA, and a GMAT score of 640.
Yeah, so for GMAT, we expect approximately to have a score of 600. If you have a bit less, but that's the logistic one is good, you can be accepted. And for GIRE or TAJMAJ, it's the equivalent. It has to be equivalent to 600 more or less. And if you have 650, you have access to the excellence scholarship.
Okay, thanks, Lisa. And one final question to Kartik. Kartik, would you please give us an example of what or how you implement what you learned during the MBA in your current job?
Good question.
It's a good one. Good question. I don't know the name of the person. It says anonymous attendee. Anonymous attendee. The fact is that you're learning every day. I mean, it's not just MBA. I believe in that learning is every single day. You just don't stop learning. MBA at EMLYON was a life-changing experience for me because, like I said, it is a very different experience when you come and study from a different continent. You're from a very different culture. So I think the people aspect is the most important thing. And one of the best aspects of this MBA cohort is that the amount of different nationalities that we have. I think that would be my best learning because there are so many different perspectives that you learn. There's so many different experiences. Challenges, for example, are very different. Working styles are very different. The way people prioritize their work and work-life balance is very different. Even the idea of career and job is very different for different people from different nationalities. I think that is my biggest learning, and I'm trying to implement that in my current job because right now I manage the compensation and benefits for an organization which is 5,000 people strong, and we have employees across the world. So there are people in Europe, North America, South America, and Asia and Africa. So it helps me in understanding their perspective as well, and it's not just a corporate-based perspective. So there is, many aspects. This is just one of them, which I think, and I think I can also talk about other cohort members. For example, there are many people who come with a very closed mindset, like they think that their opinions are right and nothing else matters. And I have seen so many people coming to the cohort and then changing after that. Then they realize the importance of other people's opinions, other people's experience, and now they are very different people. So I think MBA at EMLYON can change your perspective and can really change the way you look at life, and it will give you a great new perspective. So yeah, that's it.
Thanks, Kartik. We just received a bunch of new questions. So there is someone from Tunisia. She'd like to thank, he or she would like to thank us for the presentation. One of the questions is about the fees in the two residencies. I think we had it on one of the slides.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go back to it. And then the question is if it's possible to do a part-time job while studying.
So I'm just go back to the slide about, it was about the fees of the rents for the campuses, right?
The fees, I think.
The fees of studying.
Yeah, the visa, sorry. So yeah, if you want, good question, because we didn't mention that. So if you are joining the EMLYON Business School, you will apply for a student visa, a French student visa. So you need the visa if you are not coming from Europe, so if you're outside of Europe. The student visa will allow you to stay in France for 2 years. So for example, if for any bad reason you struggle finding a job in September after the MBA and you need to stay more in France, it's an opportunity to stay 1 year, 1 extra year in France without working. Well, it's not the main objective, of course, but sometimes it's more comfortable to know that you can stay in France for an extra year and find a job. And if you find a job in France, the company will be your sponsor to stay in France. Will be your work visa sponsor. Regarding the part-time job, absolutely not. It's not an option. I will not advise you to take a job while doing an MBA. It's a very, very intense experience. Of course, you can, if you need, you can work during the weekend if you want to find a little job. But it's my advice is to, if you need to save money to do an MBA, save money and be 100% in the program. As I said, it's a one lifetime. It's a one life program also because it's a unique experience and you will be 100% focused on the experience. So you can't work while doing an MBA. It's a full-time program. I think you can confirm that, Kartik.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Actually, we should have an open challenge to anyone who can do the MBA and also do the part-time job. We should award them if they're able to do it, because it is not possible at all. You have classes till 5 p.m. and then you'll be working on some or the other project, and you will have teammates who would want to work about that. And then you have to have dinner and you need sleep. So, it's a very intense program. I don't think part-time job is a good idea, but it's all right to think about it. We thought about it, but I think, you very quickly you realize that I think it's best to focus 100% on the MBA, because it's like 1 year of your time that will define the rest of your life. So I think it's best to focus 100% on that. I see a question from Huda Jaluli. I think the rent for the two residences is about 475 euros. And then you also get 175 euros through CAF from the government. So it comes to around 305 euros per month. It's very cheap as compared to so many other cities in Europe. And she had one more question. Maybe I can answer that. Finally, I would like to know, sorry, I said she, I don't know if male or female, I'm sorry. But if you're a banker and manager, so, okay. Which are the perspectives in France? So look, as far as I know, France has a very good, industry for finance and banking related opportunities. Even in my cohort, we had the BNP Paribas, which was one of the ELP sponsors, and many of our finance students did very well. I think all of them, if not most, I think most of them, if not all, got jobs immediately after MBA and based on their financial background. I think finance students definitely, I hate it personally, but they always have a great chance of finding a job after MBA. And as a human resource person, I feel a little jealous, but there you go.
Great. I think we managed to go through all the questions. So, oh no, there's one more. Final. I promise. How big is how many people do you accept every year?
It depends on the year. This year was a bit special because of the pandemic situation, of course. We hate to pronounce that once again because we have been hearing from that a lot during the year. But just for your information, we decided to delay the intake that was supposed to be in September 2020 to January 2021. So we do have now 69 participants in this year cohort. So if you are joining in September, you will probably get the chance to know the last cohort. Also, you will be seeing them maybe in the campus, and they will be finishing by November. We are expecting to be a very small cohort this year, maybe 50 participants maximum because of the situation and the short time recruitment. So it's an exclusive cohort. And this cohort will be divided into 2 rooms. So you will have a very small class. It's very important for us to maintain small numbers, to have a high quality experience, and to have access, easy access to our professors.
Great, thanks, Lisa. Well, thank you both actually for your time to answer all these questions.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for your great assistance and for organizing this great webinar.
Yeah, thanks. So for all of you who joined a little bit later or would like to review the questions and answers once again, we'll send you a follow-up link within a follow-up email with a link to the video in 2 weeks, so we'll be able to go through the presentation again. We really hope that this webinar has helped you make your decision about studying at EMLYON. And on behalf of the UniMy team, I would like to wish you all success in your academic journey. And to Lisa and Kartik, thanks a lot for this session. It was really wonderful to meet you and to learn more about the experience of doing an MBA at EMLYON Business School.
Thank you very much.
Looking forward to see you.
Just a last thing, very last thing. If you want to, I just forgot to say, if you want to schedule a call with one of us, here our email. We'll be very happy to help you to understand what is the best MBA and the best time to do an MBA for you. We do have some other recruiters who are in Asia and in Africa and in India that can help you. So here are our email, and you will also have access to our contacts through Zornita email, I think.
Yeah, you can see Lisa's and Kartik's contact numbers, but we will add them in the follow-up email as well.
Thank you so much, Zornita. Sorry for that.
No, we're welcome. So thanks, and I'm wishing you a great day.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
All the best. Bye-bye.